welcome to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and today is Friday, November 5th, 2021. And it was a good day. We're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. It was a really good day for me. I made some money today. I'm pretty excited. Just a reminder, if you like the show, hit the share button. Come on, hit that share button. Hit the like button, and of course you can comment live during the show on all the channels such as YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. There you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day, and you'll learn how I made $35,000 today just pushing buttons on my computer. It's kind of cool. All right, on today's show, we're going to be discussing the market update. It was a great market update. We're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about the jobs data and the surprise jobs data, that is. Peloton stock sinks. It just dropped. Is the pandemic over? We're going to be talking about whether there's a Fed chair change or Fed chairman change, and the fact that retail salespeople are needed. And of course, something that's near and dear to my heart is the eviction update, whether we're allowed to evict people again or not. Yeah, and of course the wrap up. All right, so let's talk real quick about the Dow and the S&P and what happened today. Wow, what an awesome day. First of all, the NASDAQ actually broke through 16,000 today. It was actually as high as 16,053 today. That's pretty cool. That means that, once again, we're in all these record territories. I believe the S&P broke a record too. I just want to double check. Yes, it did. The S&P also broke a record, and it hits 47.18 at the high, and it's up right now about 18. Of course, I believe we're done. And we're going to talk about that in a little while. I think the market's going to start to change the other way, and I'll explain why at the end of this show, because that's typically what we do. All right, let's also talk a little bit about the jobs data and what happened today and why some of this was happening. I have to tell you, I'm so surprised. Who would have thought it? Really, who would have thought it? Definitely not the Dumbocrats. That's right, the jobs market rocked today when non-farm payrolls increased by 531,000 for the month compared to the Dow Jones estimate of 450,000. The jobless rates had been expected to edge down to 4.7%. Private payrolls were even stronger, rising 604,000 as a loss of 73,000 government jobs pulled down the headline number. So people moved from government jobs to private jobs, which is very unusual. But anyway, so why did this happen? President Poopy Pants is actually saying it's because people are getting vaccinated, and that's the real reason. And the reason no Democrat or liberal biased media would even dare to admit is because it's so simple. The government stopped handing out free money in the form of unemployment checks of an extra $300 to $600 a week. That's right, average Mr. Lazybones now needs to actually go to work and earn money and pay for their mortgage that, by the way, was in forbearance for the last 6 to 9 months. Wow, just another sign that capitalism, not socialism, is truly the answer. But of course, President Braindead just continues to tout socialism and socialist programs to solve the problems that weren't there until he became president. That's right, he's actually trying to say that he solved the problems that he created, but he didn't do either. He created them, but he didn't even solve them. Whatever. That's politics for you. Let's talk a little bit about, remember when you used to buy a stationary home bike in the 80s, right? In the 80s, I don't know how old you are, but in the 80s you bought a stationary bike, and then you bought another one in the 90s, and yet you even bought another one as the century turned. The one that always became a hanger for your laundry to dry on. Yeah, that one, right? You would rest your shirts on it, you would rest your blankets on it, and it would become a hanger or a dryer, if you want to call it that, right? Well, this company called Peloton came up with the perfect idea. They made a stationary bike that came with a subscription, so your laundry hanger would not only cost you about $2,000 to purchase, but you had an ongoing fee of about $50 because you said you were going to commit to using this thing. So Peloton's business model, I got to tell you, Peloton's business model was actually a great idea. They sold you a technology-filled stationary bike that connected through your Wi-Fi to several other users and even an instructor. So you got to see the instructor with a screen in front of you. You got to talk to other users with a screen in front of you. And it was a great idea. But they even got really, really lucky because just a couple of short months after they started, the COVID government overreach closed down gyms and other places that would keep people healthy. Because, we want to keep people unhealthy when there's a disease going around, but that's a different story. Peloton rode this wave, and more people wanted to not only exercise, but socialize with others using their technology. Now, the customers of Peloton really had both, right? So they were able to socialize, they were able to see other people's faces, they were able to exercise without wearing a stupid mask. I still don't understand that one. Anyway, then we fast forward to after the scamdemic, and you get a company that sold a bunch of expensive laundry hangers that are being sold for half price or less on the used market such as eBay, simply because the supreme leaders and the other Nazi dictator governments are giving us some more freedom. The former customers are now going back to gyms. It's real simple. This was obvious, and if you follow the fitness industry, you'll often see fitness fad companies like Peloton slide down in stock price and eventually get bought by a competitor or simply go out of business. Now, I have a prediction for you. Watch this. Listen to this carefully. I predict Meta, Facebook, will buy Peloton in the near future. Why Facebook or why Meta? Peloton is a gateway to the metaverse that Zuckerberg is trying to create. Listen to this, right? After all, Peloton is a virtual reality company at its heart. They have all these people online. They're all talking to each other. They're exercising together. I actually think this is perfect for the metaverse. I'll tell you, watch for this prediction to come true to a news brief soon. Meanwhile, Peloton stock tanked 2 days in a row and is now at 56, which is almost half the price it was last week. Oh, I'm going to tell you to look for lower numbers in the 30 and maybe even lower until my prediction comes true. Watch for this. I really believe it's going to happen. I think this is a perfect place for them to go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the pandemic. Today, in a conversation between Dr. Scott Gottlieb and somebody in Squawk Box, Dr. Gottlieb is stating that the pandemic is mostly over and will or should be over by the time the January deadline mandate vaccine will be enforced. So basically, he's saying you don't even need this mandated vaccine because it's going to be over. Just so you know, Dr. Gottlieb is actually on the board of Pfizer, and he is pro-vaccine. And he's telling you that it's going to be over. Duh. All right. By the same time he's saying that the scandemic is over, he said pandemic, but we all know it was a scamdemic. He continued to state that the vaccine is still necessary for everyone. And of course he says that, after all, he's on the board of the biggest drug pusher, Pfizer. That's why he's saying it, right? But all in all, he's saying it's over. By the way, just so you know, it was over a year ago and never was as big a problem as they predicted in the first place. Remember? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Yeah, we didn't flatten the curve. We flattened small business owners. Pfizer stock, by the way, is holding in the 47 range, and it could be a covered call play at this price. However, I do expect it to normalize between 37 and 42 range in the new year. By the way, Moderna is another one that really tanked today. As it draws closer to my predicted number of 180, it is now at 230, down from 350 only 2 days ago. And I can tell you, even the pharmaceutical stocks are showing signs that the bullcrap around the fear of the dreaded Delta variant is starting to diminish. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead to commercial, and we'll come right back.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Felton Cohn and Larry Steinhouse about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend investor schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and I am so excited. We finally have a troll commenting on our show. Hey, listen, troll, Kittens. What a name, Kittens Johnson. That's pretty. That you can tell that's a Democrat troll. But listen, Kittens, do me a favor. Keep commenting. I love it, man. That's awesome. And make sure you share it with your friends and have them comment too. And by the way, for your loyal listeners, hey, do me a favor and, rebuke her comments. Come on now. Thanks a lot, Kittens. We really appreciate you spending the time and watching us talk about your favorite president, President Poopy Pants. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Federal Chairman change. The Federal Reserve Bank Chairman change. So Jerome Powell, as you know, he's in charge of the Federal Reserve, and he's got the title of chairman. Very soon his term will be ending, and the government, along with Biden, will be deciding to either re-elect him or place Governor Lael Brainerd. Brainerd? That's actually pretty funny because I call Biden brain dead, so if Brainerd gets chosen, it will be brain dead and Brainerd. How cool is that? Okay, sometimes I gotta kind of entertain myself. All right, but getting back to this, the chairman of the Fed won't really have much of an impact on you and I, and the decisions of the Federal Reserve to ease bond buying and effectively raise interest rates has already been decided. Powell's a Republican, and Brainerd, like brain dead, is a Democrat. I wonder who's going to win. Hey, all right. By the way, speaking of winning, I still want to know which Democrats McAuliffe pissed off the other day in the election that they didn't send the mystery fraudulent votes to keep him in office in Virginia. It's just fascinating that we had that happen. So, by the way, so far we've been talking a little bit about the market update, and we've been talking about the fact that the market is up today. Both the S&P and NASDAQ definitely hit records today, which is fantastic. All right. We also talked about the pandemic being over, and we talked about the fact that Kittens Johnson is so excited. She's so excited to be watching this show, and she might actually learn something. So Kittens, stay in there as we talk about you being our number one troll. You are our number one troll now. That's awesome. Cool. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that retail salespeople are needed. Hey, look, have you tried to get customer service anywhere lately? It's awful. In the past 2 days, I've spent a total of 4.5 hours trying to get people to help me with customer service issues from either retailers or financial service companies. With the holiday season coming, many retail store owners are desperately looking for salespeople or even general workers for their stores. A recent poll from the National Federation of Independent Business found that nearly half of owners it surveyed were experiencing either significant or moderate staffing challenges. They can't get people. I even had a discussion with my wife about this. I said, Linda, I usually really enjoy Christmas shopping, but this year, with the continued mass stupidity, along with the lack of customer service people, I may not get you anything. Do you think that will go over well? I don't think so. Even my favorite jewelry store requires the customers to wear masks, and they're all behind glass screens. These guys are weird. Anyway, so many stores need help for the season. Well, as we discussed before the break, it's possible that now that the unemployment bonuses are being removed, some of the stores may actually get the employees they need. Did you know that I'm hiring also? We need to build our sales team. It's a lot of phone work, but if you want to be part of our investor schooling, call me at 267-486-1500 and tell me why I should hire you. Hey, Kittens, tell me a little bit more about you. Maybe you should work for us. The good old days when it used to be that if a tenant didn't pay rent, that tenant might actually face a consequence called eviction. In this scandemic of the century, otherwise as known as COVID government overreach, many landlords were not allowed to evict tenants that were not paying rent. In most areas, this nonsense has stopped. However, there are a few areas still left on the list, and it goes like this. Connecticut, Virginia, Oregon, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Minnesota, as well as Washington, D.C., all have limits on evictions tied to the rental assistance process that will last until 2022, according to COVID-19 eviction moratoria team. So basically, if you live in a Democrat state and you are around all the dumbass Democrats, like kittens, by the way, what would happen is you can stay in a house for free and your landlord goes broke. Anyway, the policies vary, but in Connecticut and Virginia, for example, a landlord has to file for federal rental assistance before they can file for eviction. So basically, if you're a landlord and you want to file for eviction, you have to file for rental assistance on behalf of your tenant because your tenant is too lazy, doesn't want to do it, and can't be evicted if they don't do it. So you have to do it. The world has gone mad. And in Michigan, the eviction process is paused while application for aid is pending. Most renters in New Jersey and New York can't be evicted at all until January. New Mexico also has prohibited renters from being pushed out of their homes and hasn't yet specified when this protection will end. Maybe soon this country will actually start to honor the Constitution as well as contract law. Either way, I'm glad my tenants are paying, and hopefully the rest will start paying soon. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk more about kittens. I'm so excited. Investor schooling needs a new slogan.
Investor schooling? Never heard of.
Investor schooling?
Never heard of.
Investor schooling? Never heard of them.
Any suggestions? Phil?
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either.
Investor Schooling. We never heard of you either. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling?
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor Schooling. Those guys are everywhere. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. And so far, we've been discussing the market update. The market, really nice. The Dow is up 203 points. The S&P is up 17.5. And the NASDAQ is up 31 points. That's fantastic. We've been talking about the fact that the jobs data looks good now that the brain-dead politicians have gotten rid of the $600 bonus to stay home. So people actually went out and got jobs. I still can't believe that they did that. Why would they go out and get jobs now that they're not getting $600? Huh, interesting. We talked about the fact that Peloton has become, like everyone else, a laundry holder for your laundry. We talked about the fact that the pandemic is actually over. Fed chairman is changing. Retail salespeople are needed, and the eviction update. And of course, we have my favorite troll, which is Kittens Johnson, hanging out and watching the show too, and that's pretty exciting as well. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. By the way, hey Kittens, I need to know, did you hit the share button yet? Do me a favor, hit the share button and tell everybody how annoying I am and how dumb I am and how much of a Democrat basher I am. Just hit that share button. All right. Anyway, and everybody else, hit that like button, because I know Kittens isn't going to hit the like button. And don't forget, you can leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And everybody else, could you guys at least defend me online? All right. By the way, I had some really good plays today. I got out of some of my positions, such as AAL and CCL, and I had some really nice profits. I made over $35,000 today by just clicking buttons. Pretty cool. Anyway, they were both up about 2 points. I also sold my Boeing as it rose 10 points, and I got out as Disney rode 5 points to a great profit as well. I was going to let my Robinhood get taken away in a covered call, but I actually decided to buy it back because I actually expect to see it rise next week on the fact that they're going to start getting some attention that they deserve as they climb back to 50 at the end of the year as all my favorite cryptos gain in value. So speaking of cryptos, I got to tell you, this is pretty wild. You know, cryptos, so today, actually last week, I sold my Shiba. I sold it at 77 millionth of a cent. and I bought it back yesterday at 48 millionth of a cent. It's something like 67 millionth of a cent right now again. So those are some really nice plays. I made some nice money on that as well. And look, here's the thing with the stock market. Just remember, earnings season is coming to a close, and the debt ceiling vote is coming up again. I suspect some bad news article will appear next week because we haven't had one, and the downward movement will start for a few weeks. But look, don't be afraid of this, though. This will bring massive buying opportunities, and you'll be glad that you were mostly in cash for the next 10 days coming. So I'm going to suggest that you hold out just a little bit longer, and you'll be fine. You'll actually do really, really well with some money. So Bitcoin also, as you know, is at around 63,500, and Ethereum is still hovering just below record territory, but I think Ethereum is also a good play. I like it. It's pretty amazing that we're sitting here and talking about it, and we'll just keep going. All right. If you've made any money with some of the tips discussed in this show, please leave a comment. And hey, don't forget to give a shout out to our favorite troll, Kittens. Once again, did you hit the share button? Did you hit the like button? Thanks again for watching Money Chat Now. Have an awesome weekend. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. As you know, from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. The opinions discussed in this show are solely mine, and Kittens doesn't like them. And no one has asked me to discuss them. Thanks for watching Money Chat Now. We look forward to your continued support. Have a great weekend, and take care. Meow!